Troy.
Christopher
We got
Eccleston.
some news, my friend.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, Christopher Eccleston was at, is it Melbourne Comic Con he was at in Australia?
Yeah.
It was on your turf, you should know this.
This is something I need to tell you because I knew he was coming to Australia and I was like, all right, I'm going to book flights, book some tickets. Like I told you in a previous episode, I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure Christopher Eccleston's coming at some point.
Yeah, we
little
worked out
did I
plane
know
tickets.
that after seeing this clip go like viral of him talking about his potential future on Doctor Who, I'd never realized until today that was the Supernova / Comic-Con thing that I was going to go to. But I never realized it was this early. I always thought it was going to be like in September.
Wow.
So that's on me. That's
Well
on
done,
me.
Crispy.
Can you imagine? We could have had back-to-back episodes of, Troy met Jodie Whittaker, Crispy met Christopher Eccleston. But
yeah,
no.
that would have been amazing. That would have been amazing.
Would have been great.
You've done goofed.
Would have been great
You've
for the
done
algorithm.
goofed.
I done goofed.
You done goofed.
But anyway.
Well done.
Christopher Eccleston had some very, very
He
interesting
did.
things
He did.
to say.
What's interesting is about this is about 6 months ago, he was at a different Comic Con called Dragon Con. No idea where it is. But it was on the 5th of September 2021. There was a video that came out where Christopher Eccleston said that things had still not healed with the BBC. You know, he'll do things with conventions and Big Finish, but that's it. And he explained how, as we can confirm, he did say that, you know, the BBC put out a quote when he left Doctor Who saying that he was tired, which of course is horrible for an actor because it makes it sound like they can't do any work. He said,
Yeah.
I wasn't tired. I was tired of working with Russell, Julie and Phil. So it confirms it was those three that he clashed with. He said, I was tired with those three, but I wasn't tired of the job. I was perfectly fine with the job.
Please with sugar on top. Come back to the 60th anniversary.
I think that's very doubtful. You know, my relationship with the BBC over Doctor Who has not healed. It hasn't, you know. I hope this never happens to you, but at the time of my leaving, I agreed with Russell that I would go quietly and respectfully, and I would look after the show in publicity-wise, in terms of publicising it. And then, without saying anything to me, they announced that I was leaving. They didn't tell me they were going to do that. I was walking down the street and suddenly I got quite a lot of aggression. And more importantly, they should have said it. They created a quote and they attributed it to me, which said I was tired. Now the thing is about that, I found it too tiring. I didn't find it too tiring. I found it too tiring working with Russell and Phil and Julia. I didn't find it physically too tiring. When they said that, any other producer reading that would go, oh, we're not going to employ Chris Eccleston because he gets tired. So it was a lie. And it was in quotation marks. And I'm from Salford. You don't do that to me.
Job. So he kind of said it at that point that he wasn't going to do anything beyond Big Finish and conventions. However, he got asked a question at this Comic-Con, pretty much the same thing. What does he feel about 60th anniversary, multi-Doctor stories? So the question that actually was asked to him was, which Doctors would you like to work with best? And he first jokingly replied with, I'd have to dig them up. So obviously he's got a love for William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee, I would imagine.
Yeah,
bless them. God
absolutely.
rest their souls. But he then went into a bit of a thing saying, you know what, multi-Doctor stories are not really my thing. He's surprisingly agreeing with Capaldi quite heavily. He said, like Capaldi, they're a bit of a cash-in.
Almost like word for word.
Yeah, he doesn't really back them.
Almost word for word with what Capaldi said.
Yeah, and he said that the Ninth Doctor is a one-man band. He said, he was talking about how all the Doctors are very different, and then he also said quite clearly that Jodie Whittaker is the best Doctor. So all the
awesome.
Doctor Who haters of the current era are seething. So cope harder.
He said that he thought like the 50th anniversary and stuff was like a cash grab. Like
he thought it got better when he wasn't in it.
Specials.
Which in a
Come
way,
on,
he said that anything without me is better. That's not true, but I do think that, obviously, like I said last week, I'm kind of glad that he didn't go on to it because we got John Hurt out of it. That was an extraordinary trade-off, and John Hurt was a one-of-a-kind class act. To have him in Doctor Who is phenomenal.
I agree.
So I don't regret that in that sense. Like I had a choice in it. But he did say one thing at the very end that has really got me thinking, and a lot of other people thinking as well, which is, if you want me back, you get me on my own. Those were his words. You get me on my own. He did not specify Big Finish this time. He did not specify conventions this time. And at the end of the clip, he very knowingly grinned at the interviewer as the audience was cheering audibly.
So, no, the father of us all is William Hartnell. But the greatest Doctor is Jodie Whittaker, so... No, the Ninth Doctor in particular is a one-man band. definitely. So he doesn't work with other doctors. If you want me back, you get me on my own.
Now, it could be...
You know what that means.
It could be he's
You know what that means.
Oh, go on. Let's have the unrealistic expectation.
Ninth Doctor solo adventure confirmed.
If only.
2023.
If only.
Filming next week. Filming in Melbourne.
This is
I'll
the thing,
fly
right?
down.
So he could just be saying this to get everyone excited and to kind of... Maybe he's saying in his head that he does want to come back, but only once he gets a proper apology from Russell, etc. Because it sounds like the wounds have still not healed from the thing in September.
Yeah.
It is possible, however, bear in mind that when that interview came out... The last one where he said that things are not healed with Russell, that was before Russell T Davies was announced as returning to Doctor Who as showrunner. Okay, so that happened after that interview. So it is possible, it's not guaranteed, but it is possible that since Russell T Davies has been announced, he's been doing a few knock-arounds and asking a few people and just, getting in touch with Christopher and tried to build the bridge again.
I think that's very, very plausible.
Which makes
I think that's very plausible.
It's one of those things we have to be very cautiously optimistic, because I would love to see, and you know what, if he's not up for a multi-doctor story, that is fine. And I do think there is an argument towards having too many doctors would kind of make the story a bit complicated. I mean, the 5 Doctors barely had a 5th one in there.
That's pretty much all the news with the Ninth Doctor. Would you be down for a Ninth Doctor solo adventure?
Is the sky blue?
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Come on. I want an 8th Doctor solo episode. That's my main thing, because he's never had a solo episode. He's had his movie and he's had his little 8-minute webisode, but he's never had an actual TV Modern Who episode. He deserves it. Give him it. Done. Okay, do it. But
please,
yeah, a
sign it
Ninth
off.
Doctor solo episode, another one, and it could be one that ties into like a big multi-Doctor arc, and he just doesn't show up for that multi-Doctor arc, like the big final crossover. It'd be a bit sad, but I mean, Edward Norton was the Hulk, and he didn't show up in Avengers, so it's happened before. It could happen again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
true.
They could do
No,
it.
I
They
do
could
it.
still do it. They could have him back on his own, but make him tie into a multi-Doctor thing without him actually having to be there for the crossover. That you could easily do that.
That is true.
Or you could even pull
that's
archival
actually
audio out.
really good.
Like, if he doesn't want to come back and act with they literally pulled the thing of him from Parting of the Ways for the 50th anniversary, where he's going, and for my next trick in the TARDIS, like, they literally just pulled that out of the scene and put it in there, and nobody cared, because it was Eccleston, and he got to have a line in the 50th, whether it was archival or not. You know what I mean? So they could do that again. You don't know. They
could do so
the
much.
The point being, it seems like it could be more likely. I would not get your hopes up, because it could be him just trying to play the crowd, just to get a bit of people excitement to show that Ninth Doctor is still loved, because he has realised that in recent years people do still love the Ninth Doctor and still love him, rightfully so. It could be a signal for Russell to come across and be like, you know what, maybe I should try and reach out, or it could be a hint that things have improved since Russell was confirmed as a showrunner. It could be any of those, or it could be something completely different. Either way, I, for one, am excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below on any platform what you guys think about any of this, because there's like a lot of juicy stuff here, and I think something will come from it. We just don't know what yet.
Exactly.